Let's talk mitral regurgitation. First of all, what are the components? So there's actually two waveforms here. There's a left ventricle waveform that is kind of zoomed in, so you just see the diastolic part, you don't see the systolic part, goes off the screen. And then you have the pulmonary wedge pressure, which represents the left atrial pressure, but all of this will also ring true for the tricuspid valve if you are looking at right atrial pressure as well. You have the A wave, C wave, which you can't really see, and then V, and then in between you have the X descent and the Y descent, the parts that are coming down. So the two peaks are what we're interested in right now. The X and the Y descent will tell you about cardiac tamponade, constrictive pericarditis, but that's a talk for a different day. First of all, you're going to have the A wave, that's atrial contraction, and then you have the closure of the valves, the AV valves, which are mitral and tricuspid. That's what your C wave is that you can't see, and then the V wave happens. So the V wave, your AV valves, so these valves are supposed to be closed, and you get passive atrial filling, because remember, what's before the atrium are other arteries and veins that bring blood into the atrium. There's no valves there, so it is passive because there's not really a gradient change for all of that to happen. So if we are in the pulmonary wedge pressure, so the left atrial space, those are the pulmonary veins that empty into the left atrium. Well, the valves are supposed to be closed when that is happening. So that pressure that you see right now should be much lower than that. Nothing really crazy should be going on. But during that time is when you would see regurgitation if the valves are not fully closed during that point in time. And then when a ventricular contraction is going on, blood comes back into the atrium and you're going, wait, hold on a second, this extra pressure shouldn't be here. So what you are going to look for is a V wave that is peaked, is the term that a lot of people use, but that can kind of be subjective because it's a descriptor and an adjective. So instead, I like to say the V wave would be double the A wave because you're looking for that increase in volume at an inappropriate time. So the A wave is right here between the P and the T on the QRS complex, and then the V wave is the next one, the one that's much larger here between the T on the QRS and the next P.